and every woman I know who has IQ above broccoli will tell you that it's an insult to them that the Democrats play them to be incapable of anything other than helpless and hopeless victims of their own gender who are just sitting around wringing their hands hoping that Uncle Sugar will provide for them free birth control and a free abortion because it's the only thing in life that they really care about. And that is incredibly demeaning. It's extraordinarily outrageous to assume that women who are capable of running everything from major corporations in this country to running a household, that they're somehow incapable of controlling their own libido.
All right, folks, so we welcome you back to hour number 3 of the Steve Malzberg Show. That is what the left is picking on. That was actually Mike Huckabee on this show on Monday. I asked him about his comments because I thought they were so brilliant, because I watched him on his Fox News Channel show over the weekend, and I heard him addressing this very issue and saying these exact same things. So he said it on Saturday and Sunday on Fox. I asked him about it on Monday. You just heard it. And then yesterday he gives a speech at a Republican convention, says the same exact thing, and you would think the world came to an end. Now, I don't see anything that he needs to apologize for, that he needs to take back. I don't see anything wrong in that statement or outrageous in that statement. Joining us now is our friend, Colonel Allen West, former congressman from the great state of Florida. Hello, Colonel.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm good. All right, I mean, am I nuts, or is there absolutely not one iota of anything wrong with what he said?
No, you're absolutely right, and Governor Huckabee has no reason to apologize, and if anything, the Democrats should be apologizing. But look, you know, I'm married to a brilliant woman. You've met her.
Yes.
She has an MBA and a PhD. She was a college professor, the first black female professor in the College of Business at Kansas State University. We have our oldest daughter, who is a junior in college, who is a pre-med biology major. She wants to be a doctor. These are the stories that go contrary to what the Democrats are portraying. And all you have to do is go back and read the life of Julia. I mean, this is what they're trying to, you know, bring out in women in the world. And if you want to talk about the feminist movement, talking about women being strong, women taking advantage of the opportunities and being out there to be CEOs and leaders in our military, in our private sector, in our government sector, public sector, this goes contrary to what the Democrats are producing. And think about, you know, one of the big failures of the quote-unquote War on Poverty, Great Society programs was when Lyndon Johnson came up with this idea that said you have to give a check to a woman that has a child out of wedlock, and as long as she continues to keep a man out of the house, we will continue to give her a check.
Yeah, that worked out real well.
And it has worked out very well. So Governor Huckabee is right. Government is trying to be the sugar daddy. Government is trying to come in and replace having, you know, strong male role models together with women, strong women, to have strong families. And, you know, the left just got caught, you know, guilty as always, and they're trying to deflect.
Well, speaking of getting caught guilty as always, let's talk about the media, who is just going nuts. They misrepresented this at the beginning. Then they had egg on their face, but then they went on as if it was the statement that they misrepresented was the actual statement. Let me let you see what I'm talking about. We put up cutscene on the screen. We have Dana Bash of CNN tweeting out, at RNC meeting, Mike Huckabee just said federal government shouldn't help women who can't control their libido with birth control. At the same time, you're coming in and providing them birth control because they cannot control their libido. Well, obviously, that was not what he said. So a few minutes later, Dana Bash comes back and tweets, to be clear, at Mike Huckabee said, Dems insult women thinking they're helpless giving RX for birth control because they can't control their libido. And Casey Hunt had to come back and say, to be clear, Huck says Dems believe helpless without Uncle Sugar giving the birth control. So they thought they had gold. It turned into, I don't want to say what it turned into, but the liberal media keeps talking about it as if it's the original tweet.
Yeah, well, they have to do that. As a matter of fact, you're seeing the Democrat National Committee try to send out a fundraising notice to raise money off what he said. You know, another thing that Governor Huckabee said in his remarks, he talked about having a war for women as opposed to this full war on women. You know, if you want to talk about a war on women, go to Iraq, go to Afghanistan, look at what the Taliban does. You don't hear anything from the left speaking out about that. You know, look at Malala Yousafzai, the young 16-year-old girl who was shot in the head by the Taliban, but yet no one on the left. That's what the example that should be out there. But, you know, again, and I'm going to be very blunt, the left tries to win the women's vote by talking from the waist down. What we have to do on our American Dream, have their pursuit of happiness, we have to talk to their heart, and we have to talk to their mind. And I think that's exactly what Governor Huckabee was talking about, drawing that delineation.
Yeah, no, very interesting. Let me take you to another story here, and this is Andrea Mitchell, as they're talking about Wendy Davis, who, of course, is seeking to become the Democratic governor of the state of Texas, and she's been not only misrepresenting her biography and apparently lied under oath about her divorce, but also has people who are supporting her been trashing and making fun of Greg Abbott, the Attorney General of Texas, who's going to run as a Republican and is in a wheelchair. But here's Andrea Mitchell, and this is how Andrea Mitchell of MSNBC and NBC News, by the way, describes what Wendy Davis has done on her bio. Here's cut 17.
Wendy Davis, someone we've talked about quite a bit in Texas, running for governor, running for the nomination for governor, the Democratic nomination, and now being forced to answer media reports down there that she had slightly altered give the timeline correctly. You never want to be on the defensive about giving your biography when you're running for office, but this is a careful balancing act also, given her
altered her resume. I mean, my God, if this were any female conservative Republican did what to their wife, what she did to her husband allegedly, and taking his 401k money that he cashed in to go to law school and then leaving him right after she graduated, they trashed that person inside out. But this one, she slightly altered her bio.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Again, they show the hypocrisy of the left. You can imagine if I were to go out and say that, you know, I served 22 years active duty in the United States military, and then all of a sudden you find out that, well, you know, I only served 18, the liberals would be going crazy. Think about Richard Blumenthal.
Oh, yeah, he said he served in Vietnam, and fought in Vietnam, and he never did.
You know, that's not something that you make up. You know, being in Vietnam, getting shot at, being in a combat zone, you don't just make that up. But yet he gets a pass, and now he's a U.S. Senator. Hey, he just misspoke, just the same as Barack Obama just kind of misspeaks constantly. So, you know, when you look at what is happening with Wendy Davis, she's not going to be successful in her run down there in Texas. They're not going to be able to turn Texas blue. The truth is going to come out about her even more so. And what's even worse is the means by which she's trying to denigrate, you know, Gregory Abbott, you know, talking about he needs to walk in my shoes, or this recent video that came out that showed, you know, battleground Texas supporters of Wendy Davis making fun of Gregory Abbott. That's disgusting. It's despicable. And, you know, I thought that we were supposed to get away from this. It was supposed to be, you know, a new discipline, better discourse in politics. That's what the president talked about, but yet the liberals are not listening.
Yeah, all right, one more for you. We're talking to the great Alan West here on the Steve Malzberg Show, Fox News contributor, of course, former congressman. Let me ask you about this Richard Sherman deal. You know, the remarks he made, the outrageous screaming after the game against, it was Seattle, of course, their victory over San Francisco, and he went on the attack after the game. And people have called him, said it was thug-like, and now the big claim by him, which has been picked up by many in the media, is that saying thug is like calling somebody the N-word. I mean, you know what they keep doing, and I don't know who they are, but people like Richard Sherman and people who agree with him, is they dumb everything down. You know, Trayvon Martin was like some of the horrific civil rights murders of our time. You know, everything equals everything. Rosa Parks, the first gay athlete to come out in the NBA, is the new Rosa Parks, Jackie Robinson. I mean, they take these wonderful, iconic people who represent so much, either in a great way like Jackie Robinson and Rosa Parks, or Emmett Till, who suffered a horrific, brutal murder, and they throw it around loosely like they throw the word racism around.
Well, I will tell you this. Richard Sherman was speaking in the heat of the moment, a lot of adrenaline there. And you and I grew up in an era with Muhammad Ali.
There was always like a little sense of humor in it.
Yeah, it was. But, I mean, I really think that, the media, for some odd reason, has blown the whole Richard Sherman thing out of proportion. But sadly, he has taken it and reverted back to the same old safe spot, and that's to go and make it an issue of race when it is not an issue of race. It was a heated moment. The adrenaline was flowing. He had just made the pivotal play in the NFC Championship, which led. And it's tough being a cornerback out there going mano-a-mano with one wide receiver. And he just reacted thereof.
Right.
So I would say that, we need to stop blowing things out of proportion, like an interview with an athlete that just made a big play. But then Richard Sherman should learn, and he's a Stanford graduate. Richard Sherman should learn, just stick to the facts. Say, apologize, and don't take it anywhere further. And don't start talking about the N-word. Most importantly, he better get ready for Peyton Manning.
Yeah. It's going to be defense is going to have the big advantage. All right, Alan, always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Steve. Have a great one.
Take care. I will. And you too. Colonel Alan West, ladies and gentlemen, former U.S. Congressman, Fox News contributor, all here on the Steve Malzberg Show.
The Steve Malzberg